And we're back.
Hey,
Was that a good segue?
I think so. I think
Okay.
it's not a segue. It's the opening.
Right.
But
But it was good either way.
summer is in the horizon.
Yes, it is hot outside in Texas.
That's why I'm wearing a.
His
A
little
hat.
sun hat there.
Yes.
Summer
My
hat.
wife made this. It's for sun protection. I don't think it actually provides sun protection, but it's cool. It was handmade, and we missed y'all.
Yeah. Been looking forward to getting back. No, that was gonna sound weird. Never mind. It's great to see you guys again.
How is your mom?
How is your mom? Is she still good?
Make sure she's hydrating.
Make sure yes, and that she knows that I said hi again.
Please. That's very important to us.
Yeah. Especially because I don't know when this airs. Is Mother's Day? Did it already happen? Or is it about to happen?
Mother's Day
okay.
already happened.
But anyway, so we're back. I'm Dorian.
Hey, still Jay. I know I'm stealing that from my other podcast.
Still Jay. Yeah, I thought I'd start this episode off with something weird.
Yeah. What do you think?
I had a weird dream, fever dream. I was a crab, and I also had a machine gun. And there were all these other crabs, and they were after me, and I was blowing away all these other crabs, and there were flying skulls also. And I was trying to like jump from island to island to island. It was like this repetitive circle of a
It's
nightmare.
like a fever dream.
Yeah.
Were you on medication?
I don't think so.
The medication that I was recently prescribed was saying that it would give me insane nightmares, and I actually dropped it after taking it twice.
Did you have this nightmare too?
Yeah, I did.
That's weird. Wait, that's right. It wasn't the fever dream. It was the game Crab Champions.
And that's episode 7 for you guys.
Yes, that is what we're talking about today. Crab Champions, which when I first heard about it, I had to look up, is this real? Is this a real thing? I don't know. Because that's what I just described is the game. The premise anyway. Yeah, it was...
Okay. Well, before we start delving into it, because this is a game that we both actually did play. I played it an ass load amount of times. It's
that I was surprised about. Before I even got to jump on it myself, Steam shows you like friends who have played recently.
like 12 hours.
Yeah, 12 hours. I was like, what? What? Did you know about this game like way before, or
Nope.
is this just now that you started playing it?
No, it was just fun. So, but I'll get into that the more we talk about it. So, for the people who are not aware what Crab Champions is, we'll go over, but we need to go over some small like kind of details, right? On like what is a roguelite?
Yes. So Crab Champions is a roguelite, which I had to do some research on this because there's two different things. There's roguelite and roguelike. Like versus LITE. And this is a roguelite. What that means is essentially you do like a run of the game, and you basically try to get as far as you can before you die. And if you die, then you have to start your run all over again, with no power-ups and all that stuff. And we'll get into that in a little bit. But essentially, you're always starting over from scratch, trying to get as far as you can. Now, the difference between roguelike and light is light, with a T, there's some stuff that carries over from run to run. So, if we get far enough in a certain run, we'll like make some unlocks of
and then even if you die, that
even
comes
if you
with you.
Exactly.
Oh.
So yeah, in this case, when
you die, you die.
You die. But remember, you get those keys that unlock weapons
But those
that you can use.
Oh, I see.
Roguelike with a K. It's just like boom, you're starting over like with nothing again.
Me in Diablo 4, Rogue Might. Sorry. That was so bad. I just wanted to find something with Rogue. That's so confusing.
Okay. Yeah, it's weird. It's a weird terminology. I didn't even know that there was two different things.
Yeah.
I thought I was just mishearing people saying roguelite
No.
But yeah, so Crab Champions is a roguelite.
So in
in
the
that
sense
sense.
that once you unlock like let's say that you're starting off with guns, right?
Yes.
And you have to start your SMG or your whatever.
Mm-hmm.
If you unlock the rocket launcher, any other new game you start
Mm-hmm.
will allow you to choose that rocket launcher.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly. Now, so let's go into like kind of the basic gameplay loop of this game.
Mm-hmm.
So you you go straight into a lobby when you boot this game up, and you can either go solo or you can play with friends.
It's actually really cool. I like the menu.
Yeah. I guess that is sort of the menu. Is that little island?
That is 100% the menu.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'll put a little clip of a little walkthrough right here.
Okay. There you go.
So we don't give it too long of a time.
It took me by surprise when I first started the game, because usually when you start up a game, there's like some sort of main menu screen that says like press start to continue or something,
Or new game.
or new game
continue
or something.
Yeah.
This one I booted it up, not even a loading screen. I was just like, boom, I'm on an island. I'm like, what's happening?
Like, and for those who are listening and are not able to see, the way it is the way it is
The way it is.
the way that it works is as soon as you start the game, it will now drop you into an island where you navigate,
Mm-hmm.
and by navigating and interacting with the stuff in there is how you activate it.
Right.
For example, like if you want to start a new game, you go to the new game portal.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to change your gun, you go to the gun,
The armory.
the armory, the crabbermory. Nope.
Crabber.
So
You can do it. You can
I'm
do it.
doing
bud.
it.
You can get there.
You mean to tell me that some of these crab ran goons? How are they managing a team? The crab ran goons. Tell me you get that.
I mean, I know what a crab rangoon is.
No, the crab ran goons.
You looked at me so seriously. You're like pleading with your eyes to me to get
Please
this
get the
joke.
But as I want to fit in as many crustacean
Okay.
things in this episode.
I did not know that before we started this, so now I have a new challenge. Good to know.
And so, like we're saying, the menu is navigated
Mhm.
by you playing the game
Yeah.
immediately.
Moving around as your little
Yeah,
your
you're
little
like
crab.
Little crab. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah,
yeah.
I loved it. But let's go ahead.
It can be a little confusing at first, because
Yeah.
you like I said, it doesn't tell you anything.
No, absolutely
It
not.
does not tell you anything. Even like the tutorial is part of that island, and I say tutorial
that's
very
right.
loosely. It's very loosely a tutorial, but it's technically on that island. You have to kind of just stumble across it.
Yeah, and it tells you like, oh, you
Yeah,
followed
it's like this
the
is
path.
how you jump,
Yeah,
double
yeah.
jump, all that stuff. But yeah. So you start out there. You either start and you run solo, or you can
Started with a
meet
group
up with
of
some
friends,
friends,
which
that's what our gameplay video is going to be.
yeah,
is us
we did it with you, me, my brother,
and producer Jane.
Yeah,
Yeah. That was fun.
that was fun.
But yeah, so then you start your run, and again, no pomp and circumstance. You just like boom onto a new island, and crabs are coming at you.
Off the rip.
Off
What did you
rip.
do?
You gotta just start sidestepping. You gotta start sidestepping and shooting.
What did you do? What do you think the crab did? Oh yeah, and that's one other thing. This game does not have any story or lore attached to it.
Yeah. Normally we would probably start with that first. We'd give you like the premise, like the setup of the game. That's probably why if you honestly, this episode is sort of what it's like playing the game, where you're just thrown in, and
That's
so yeah, no story, no. What do the actors always ask for? Like, no motivation. There's no motivation,
no
for
motivation.
doing any of this. It's just go.
Yeah.
The crab himself, when he starts, he as Frank Reynolds would say.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that's when I started blasting.
That's when I started blasting.
That's when I started blasting. So yeah, you're thrown in, and essentially every island, most islands there's just a set number of enemies, and they're coming at you. And once you kill all those enemies, you've cleared the island. And before you move on to the next island, it'll give you like 3 chests with power-ups.
With an option.
Yeah,
to
and there are all sorts of different, and this is where the game sort of starts getting deeper, right? Because you can quickly get overpowered because you start off with just a gun.
Yeah, but before you continue,
Yeah.
I'ma say, because I don't want to jump straight into the rewards without them knowing what they need to do in order to.
Okay, yeah.
So, you start the game. Boom. The menu, you're playing already. You're crabbing your way out. And then you go into the new game.
You're clawing your way out.
You're clawing your way out. And so you start the game and now puts you in an island. And the goal is for you to survive and eliminate every other crab.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, crab or
skull.
any
Yeah.
living being needs to be eliminated.
Yeah.
You are John Wick,
Yeah.
the Babli Yugi, and you're gonna eliminate all of them. And so now you use any means because you have melee, little crab claw. You also unlock other stuff.
Yeah. A grenade. You also start with a grenade.
And your primary weapon.
Yes.
So let's say that now you've cleared it.
Mhm. Now you've cleared it. It gives you 3 options for power-ups. And there are so many different power-ups and like so many different ways that you can consider yourself powered up. Like there's things that, like kind of the more boring ones are ones that just like, they just increase your damage.
Yeah.
But then you also have things like one of my favorites, whenever I saw this, I always got it, was whenever you reload, it sends out like a shockwave of like fireballs or something. I always love that one because it kind of gives you some cover. If you run out of ammo, you just like, boom, you blow up everything in front of you.
One of my favorite ones is the dagger.
The dagger one, yes. That was what is that one just it?
If you hit
it's just a chance on.
It's a chance on hit.
So yeah, to go into more detail on that one, like it's you're shooting like a machine gun. Let's say you bring your machine gun, you'll just be shooting your machine gun, but there's a chance for every one of those bullets that when it hits, it also sends out like a bunch of knives. And there's a bunch of crazy shit like that.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's in essence what makes the game so fun.
Right.
And I think that's also what gives the game the very like replayability.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, because the rewards are totally random.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know what you're gonna get, and
so you can't plan your build ahead.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, you have to work with what you got, and so sometimes like my second run of the game ever went horribly because I just got really
dry
horrible.
spell.
Yeah, it was just horrible. Like nothing that really helped me, and I died by like the 8th island or something like that. But then like my third run, I actually did my first full loop, and it was because I got essentially various power-ups that made it so I never had to reload.
Oh yeah, you were telling me about that.
Yeah,
I wanted to emulate that.
Yeah, and it's fun because like I have one where it's like it's a chance to automatic reload whenever you land damage, but also it whenever you get a kill, it makes it so you don't actually spend ammo for like a few second window. So I'm just holding the mouse button down.
Just
those two things stacking just
Rambo.
Oh yeah, I'm.
Holy cannoli.
There's no crab. Dang it! I was trying to think of something for Rambo.
Crambo.
Crambo. Rambo first crab. Yeah, so
it's so weird, because it feels like this game is gonna be actually so hard to explain.
It is. It's
especially if you're listening on like a podcast, right?
Yeah.
Instead of like watching a video.
Yeah.
It makes it so hard to describe because you're shooting shit. You're like
the screen is insanity.
Oh,
a lot of times, especially
later
when you
on,
start getting later on. Yeah.
It like you can't see a fucking thing.
Especially if you're playing with friends.
Oh, because
not only is your gun popping off, everyone else's is too.
Everyone is popping off, and I'm trying to think. So with this not having a story, what we can talk about is let's talk about the gameplay. I'm curious your thoughts on it.
It's so, in a word, fun. It was just a lot of fun, and it's simple. It's the control, and maybe it's just me, and, because I've been gaming for a little while.
Ooh, you're a long time gamer.
But there's really only there's the move buttons, right? and the
Jump.
jump and shoot. I didn't even really melee. Like, you can melee. I don't think I ever
There's
really
like
found
builds.
myself melee.
Yeah.
I guess if you go a specific
Or
build,
doing challenges, because there's challenges.
there you go. But if you're like just a typical, I just want to have some fun on Crab Champions player,
This is it.
you really don't. I never really meleeed, and so you really just need to be able to shoot, move, and jump. Yet with all these powers, these power ups that you get, you feel so cool with all the different things that you can be doing. So it's without having to like commit so much time to a game, you can also have just like a ton of fun.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It's not like a serious.
Yeah.
thing.
Like you and me, we both like, you know, you're a Path of Exile gamer.
Right
we're both
now,
fighting games.
Oh, now we're FGC. Yeah.
Yeah. All types of those games, like you need to sink some time in
to get better. Yeah.
before you're like kind of having
Not
fun.
this.
Not this. This you can just jump in and
Like,
start blasting crabs.
Let me share with y'all my experience on the first playthrough.
Okay.
All right. So the first playthrough, I played it by myself. I was like, okay, it's probably best if I get some experience solo. And so I did. I booted up. I'm like, oh, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, what the fuck?
And I started the game, and I started with the SMG as my primary weapon.
Right.
And I ran through. I got a bunch of items that made it so whenever I connected, it would cast. It was so much fun. And then I kept playing. I pushed solo up until about like 70 until I was like, okay, I'm not getting any more keys. And keys, again, like we said, is what you use to unlock the main weapons, so that way you could have a bigger variety for your next playthrough. You can only get a maximum of 12 per full run post loop.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And so I did that, got that, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna take a time off for a second. I need a break because I looked at the clock. I spent 2 hours.
It's one of those games where you can just be playing and next thing you know, hours have
mindlessly.
Yeah.
Mindless crab violence.
Yeah.
And I'm allergic, so I'm allergic to shellfish.
Oh, so this is like
this is
a vendetta for you.
Oh yeah. I was John Wick in the
all the shellfish that you have been denied your whole life, you're taking it out on these crabs.
Oh, absolutely. I was their maker. And so I played through, and then the second time, my brother saw me playing, and he's like, "Oh, that looks fun." I was like, "It's fun," and he's like, "Can I join?" So he bought the game. And then we played through. We got up to like level one over 130, maybe 140, as a duo, and we look at the clock again. 4 hours.
It's been 60 years.
We sat down for 4 fucking hours.
Yeah.
And we were like, all right, we need to stop for now.
We need to eat. Drink water.
And then I think that was my first sit down session playthrough. Like legitimately, I just lost track of time because of the amount of fun I was having killing crustaceans.
Yeah. I can see myself losing time on it because it's almost therapeutic.
It is. It's extremely
you
therapeutic.
get in a flow state. Yeah. Because the movement, that's one thing that I loved about the game.
So smooth.
The movement of your crab.
Yeah, hold on. And your crab can actually walk forward and back.
Yes, yeah. You're not only walking sideways. No, not only can you walk front and back, you're jumping, you're flipping, you're like
jumping,
sliding on the ground
your
and
crab
everything.
Sliding.
The movement is so slick, and so you're just like you're constantly just moving pretty fast, yet it feels manageable.
Yeah, manageable speed.
Yeah,
there was one game, I think, I don't know if you were there, but I got up to like 400% movement speed.
I don't know if I was there for that one because I know that there are movement speed power-ups.
That one was uncontrollable.
Oh,
and so let me break down like the power-ups a little bit more than we already did. Right?
Okay, yeah.
So there's things that improve your damage, things that improve your shooting speed, things that improve your critical, and then things that cast whenever you connect.
Yeah. Were those upgrades?
Yeah, those are
the ones that are classified as upgrades. Okay.
Yes.
then there was also economy stuff.
Oh yeah, econ stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, because every round you might not have enough cash.
Yeah,
it's like
so
real life.
yeah, so one more thing onto like the typical gameplay loop, right? So a full loop. Let's describe that.
Correct.
A full loop is like 4 bosses, I think, right?
Yeah, I think so.
To get to each boss, you have to go through a group of like 6 or 7 islands.
Mm-hmm. It's a total of 30 stages.
So a total of 30 stages, and so whenever you get to a new group of island, it's like kind of like a different vibe. So like one's like icy,
Yeah, one's
like on a volcano. Yeah. And so one's like the desert, I think. And so
with a cactus.
as you go through each island, like the enemies get like there's more enemies, and then also the types of enemies get a little bit tougher and everything until you get to the last boss. Right before the last boss, though, it gives you an opportunity to spend like these points that you've been gathering on
the Red Lobster credits.
The Red Lobster credits.
Bankrupt now, by the way.
Ooh, R.I.P. Yeah, actually, I read about that. Anyway, so it gives you a chance to go into this little shop area that also lets you kind of like heal up.
Yeah. Unless everyone else in your party.
Yeah, that's the thing. There's only a certain amount of little healing orbs that are on that little stop area. And if you're playing with a group, you need to share or
Jay takes all of them.
Or Mr. Paddington Kuma over here takes all of them.
Or buys the weapon.
Or buys all. God. So many times I'm going down the row of power-ups and I'm looking at one. I'm like reading the description. I'm like, that might be helpful. And I see Jay's crowd just go, just take it and then run off. And I'm like, come on.
And because the upgrades are shared in the shop.
Yeah, it's all shared. You can re-roll them also to like refill it all, but again, random. So anyway, you get that little last shop area before the boss. Mm-hmm. You fight the boss, and if you beat the boss, you get like another kind of bigger power up. That's where you get some keys. Yeah. You also get your keys there, and then you go on to the next group. And then you do that 4 times. Once you beat that 4th boss,
then the big bad.
The loop resets.
Oh, the loop resets after the big bad.
After the last big boss. Yeah. It gives you a chance. It gives you like, hey, do you want to end your run here and like just be crab champion, or do you want to start again with like more enemies, tougher enemies, and everything like that? Mm-hmm. And so that's the loop. You try to go. You either like end it there, or you try to see how far you can go.
It really is a good gameplay loop.
Yeah.
As far as keeping you on your seat, that's incredibly.
In our gameplay video, I had to go to bed. Like it was late. I didn't want to go to bed. I was just like, I need to go to bed.
Yeah, and even at some point where it's like, should have slept already. You're like, we'll just wait till the loop.
Yeah, and that's what I waited for. Essentially, I was like, all right, we did this like for the 3rd, 4th time, the 4th loop or whatever. I'm like, I have to go to bed. I work in the morning. I didn't want to though. I wanted to keep going. I wanted to see how far.
Just crab it up.
Yeah, I just want to crab it up and see how far we could get.
And it's so funny because the game is so extremely simple if you think about it in the game design. Right?
Yeah.
Because what the fuck? You just kill crabs.
Just kill crabs.
Oh, but the music is great.
So yeah, should we like start detouring into design now of the game? Let's
detour into it.
Let's start with that. The music is like it's pretty good. It's like kind of EDM, like
to keep your heart rate
up,
it's
just like, and it honestly helps you get into that flow because it's just like a steady rhythm. You're kind of just like bobbing your head to the music and everything, and it's not like crazy dubstep. It's not like you're not stuck in a broken MRI machine or anything.
No,
it's just like some like chill house music, pretty much.
Like a really nice one.
Yeah. And so you're kind of just you're sliding, you're shooting to the rhythm,
to the beat,
to the rhythm of the night. I regret doing that. Anyway, but yeah, like the music is pretty good.
So to me, it's not just the music, right? The sound design as far as the guns go it
It's
feels
satisfying.
like there's a difference in every gun,
Mhm.
and it feels crunch. It's crispy.
It's crispy. Yeah, and like
Crispy.
the explosions of like the grenades or
Or even the ice. Like there's like a grenade that makes the ice or makes the ground frozen,
yeah.
and even that, like, it has like a nice sound to it.
Yeah, and there's something to be spoken about there in game design in general, because like it's important to make it feel good. There's a line between like realism and like just make it feel good,
Come on, bro. Yeah.
And so because like I said, when I have the power up where I shoot out a blast of whatever on my reload, it's just like a good satisfying like it's kind of cartoony, but it's satisfying when you land it. So yeah, sound design really good. Is it just me? I can't think of an actual sound, but I know like I feel satisfied whenever I kill an enemy.
Yeah, there is. I don't know.
There's like a crumbling sound or something. I don't know.
Like I said, a little crispy.
Yeah, it's crispy. Yeah, yeah.
It's a little crispy.
So I think one thing that I should probably say is that this game is definitely taking a lot of inspiration from another game that's out there, called Risk of Rain 2. I don't know if you've
Which
heard
one
of
came
this.
out first?
Risk of Rain.
You definite?
I'm like 99% sure.
When did Risk of Rain come out?
Ooh, I don't know the year, but like it came out a few years ago. The thing is, Crab Champions has been in early access forever, it feels like. So I don't actually know, the exact time where each game was released. But I'm pretty sure Risk of Rain 2 came out first because
Risk of Rain 2?
yes. Yeah, because there's the first one is like a lot older. But it's the same.
Yeah, I mean, so Risk of Rain 2, August 11,
Okay,
2020.
2020.
Crab Champions, April 1st, 2023.
2023.
They
Okay.
released on April 1st.
That's hilarious.
That's good.
That had to be on purpose, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
They released on April Fool's Day. That's great. But yeah, so it took a lot of inspiration from this, because if you ever go and like check out like video of Risk of Rain 2 or anything, it's the same idea.
Is it with crabs?
It's not crabs.
Oh, okay.
It's not crabs. No, it's like I don't know what they're kind of like space dude looking kind of things. It's kind of like sci-fi-ish themed, but it still has that kind of like colorful cartoony aesthetic, but not in the same way that Crab Champions is necessarily.
I see.
But you're dudes, you're bipedal humanoid creatures. But it's the same idea where, you get thrown into arena,
Clear shot.
enemies, clear shop, get a power up, and try to build yourself up to clear like harder and harder bosses. So these guys who made Crab Champions, clearly inspired by Risk of Rain. I honestly, God, I would love to talk to them and be like, what was your inspiration?
It's probably a lot of weed.
Probably.
Probably like copious amounts.
Yeah. What was their like, hey, they were probably playing Risk of Rain 2, and they were like, bro.
What if Risk of Rain 2, they were talking about it, then they got Chinese takeout.
Took a huge
No.
hit.
Had crab in the Chinese takeout. Like I said, the crab rangoons.
It all comes back.
And what if that was it? Or some guy was like, oh, dang. That was
Like they were just eating, and like one guy holds up like a crab claw and was just like, dude.
And he looks over to his friend. You know what I'm thinking?
Do you know what I'm thinking? And the guy's like, probably not.
No.
I have no idea. What if this was holding a machine gun and it was jumping around and fighting other crabs? And the guy was like, bro.
Then boom. That's how they did it.
It's a good thing we're game developers.
I'm assuming that that's what happened. That's not what
That's
happened
our story?
in my head canonically.
Yes. Until, what, I'm sorry. I'm blanking on the developer.
I have no idea.
I actually have no idea who the developer
idea.
is. Can you look that up really quick? I would love to hear the actual story. Unless that is the actual story. Did we nail it? Let us know.
So the developer is called Nullstorm Limited.
Nullstorm Limited.
It's the Crab game was developed by Daniel William Suman, known online as Danny. He's a comedic Norwegian YouTuber.
No shit.
Oh wait, no, that's Crab Game.
Oh no.
Whew. Wrong game. Sorry.
Oh no.
That's embarrassing. That's embarrassing.
Crab Champions.
Crab
Crab
Champions.
Game. How could you possibly get those two things confused?
You know what's wild? So I searched that, but the search that I put is Crab Champions Dev. That's weird. That like,
come on,
why is
Google.
Crab Game on here? So yeah, Crab Game is Noise Storm, developed by Ian O'Brien.
All right.
His name is right here, in case I'm pronouncing it wrong. Yeah. So the game, it's because the song quickly grew viral upon its release.
That's right. That little
it's
crab
Rave.
thing.
It's Crab Rave.
Crab Rave.
Is
That's
that
the
them?
inspiration.
No, it's not.
Well, I don't know if they made it.
Oh, the game is based
It's
off
based
Crab
off
Rave.
of the yeah.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had no idea. That makes sense.
That makes sense.
It has the same look, even like the way the crabs in the game look. They look like the crabs from Crab Rave.
Yeah. So
Oh,
1 year after the song was released and became the game became available on Steam.
So it's a meme. The game is a giant meme.
The game was first announced on April 1st, 2019.
It was announced on April 1st.
No one was. Yeah.
And then released on April 1st.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant.
These guys are true meme lords.
Oh yeah.
Honestly.
Okay.
That's hilarious.
That's fucking hilarious. I mean, they made a killer game.
I honestly don't know which story I like more now.
I don't
now.
know. I like theirs.
Theirs is pretty good.
But
It
yeah,
makes
to me,
sense.
I never thought of like playing this. In all honesty,
I had heard about it, and like honestly, it seemed like a fun enough idea. It just like is Crab Champions. I never thought to actually get it and play it.
one of our friends played it a shitload. I think Irvin, played it a ton,
He's talked about it, yeah.
and I think he saw us play.
Yeah.
And he's like, "You guys having fun?" He's
I
like,
honestly had heard good things.
Yeah.
It never actually made it across my my desk,
and yet it did.
and now it did. And honestly, it's worth. How much is it going for on Steam?
I
Because
don't know.
it's not
It's
expensive.
It's
like
like $9.
$9 or something.
$9.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it's $9.
like 15 or less at most, right?
Yeah, I don't even think it's 15. Yeah, I mean, so
It's-
he was inspired by games such as Spelunky and of course one of the other greatest roguelikes, which is Binding of Isaac.
I've heard of Binding of
Another one?
Isaac. Never
Oh.
actually played it though.
I love that game.
Roguelites are
Like
wait, which one? Which game are we talking about?
all of those are roguelike.
A roguelikes. Okay, so Binding of Isaac is a roguelike.
Correct.
Gotcha. See, I think I'm just more of a roguelite guy, because, oh man, to make it so far and then get taken out by something and lose everything, that's rough for me.
Oh,
That's rough for me.
but yeah, that's really cool. And again, thank you for making this game. Like,
Yeah.
to me, this is one of the funnest games I've played.
It's a great game to have, just kind of like, just have it in your library for whenever you're like,
Hey,
I don't really have anything crazy to play right now.
Yeah.
No, nothing new that I like has been out.
you just got your heart broken?
Just got your heart broken.
Boot up some Crab Champion.
Yeah. Just take it out on some crabs.
Yeah. What else? You just lost your job in this economy?
Take it out on some crabs.
Oh, don't do that though if you haven't bought it yet.
Oh, like on
Because
real
that's
crabs?
on a real, yeah.
Well, I mean, you could probably go to like a restaurant and take it out on some crabs that way.
I think Brendan said he had crabs. I don't know if that's the same crabs that he was talking about. Probably something else.
Yeah, I think that might have been something else.
But so I'm curious. Do you have any gripes about the game?
Any gripes? So it kind of can go either way, because like I said, when you first start the game up, especially if you don't have us to warn you about it, you're kind of like, what is going on? It doesn't explain anything to you, which is like it's very much that early access vibe, that indie developer vibe, where it doesn't have a lot of the basics that a lot of mainstream games do. But that might be a good thing or a bad thing depending on who you are. For me, I would have liked a little bit of an introduction into the game. You know, if anything, like if you are gonna just throw me onto that initial like sort of main menu island, maybe have the tutorial, like have the player start right in front of the tutorial or something.
I see.
Where you don't have to like stumble upon it.
Mm-hmm.
Things like that, just to make the like a new player experience a little bit better, I think.
Yeah.
Other than that, it'd be cool if I was able to get more than one upgrade or one unlock after each run.
You can get up to 9 keys.
You can that's the thing. You can get all those keys, but it only lets you turn in once.
Yeah.
Then you have to complete an entire other
So
run.
you have to. I learned this.
Oh?
So after you get your 9 keys, you unlock one, you leave, and then you start a new game. You quit that, you go. I mean, it's kind of jank.
Okay, I guess that's what I mean then. Because, yeah, like you have to, like, start another run.
Correct.
In order to...
Yeah. But it's just like you could
unlock.
end it quick, but yeah, it's cheese.
It's just weird how it lets you collect all these keys in one run.
But it doesn't let you cash
but it
them
doesn't
all
let
in.
you cash them all out. Yeah. So that I think that might be one of my main gripes because I'm the kind of person who, like, no matter what type of game I'm playing, I love some sort of progression.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? I like,
absolutely.
Whenever I play through something, I like to have like a little reward, a little treat,
a little morsel
given to me. And in this game's case, it's nothing too crazy, but like you unlock like different like skins for your crab, like which are pretty much just different colors. Yeah, nothing too crazy. But still, it's something, or also the weapons.
Yeah.
Because there's like a lot of weapons. There's like at least 20, I want to say.
Yeah, I unlocked all of them.
Yeah, so I didn't know about, I didn't think to do your little cheese mode there. And so like I only unlocked like 3 or 4 total because I'm like, I really don't feel like doing a whole other run
just
right
to get
now.
One fucking gun.
Yeah. And so I like that seems strange. Like if you're going to let us get all these keys, let us cash them out,
Yeah. Here's one that I thought of a change would be kind of cool. The ability to lower the bloom or the graphical effects. So I've crashed the game twice. Just from by virtue of playing, it would just crash. Just because
there's so much.
I was at like 150 plus or like almost like 180 I think is, and then I started crashing.
When you say 150 plus,
level,
you mean like
islands.
Number
I'm like
of
super
islands.
far ahead where literally one click of my mouse will shoot a million projectiles.
Yeah.
And so holding it, and like I'm on like a pretty strong PC. I'm on like a 4070 Ti and like a 13900F or K or whatever. And it fucking crashed.
Yeah, and base level Crab Champions isn't like that crazy of a graphical game.
It's not. It's not at all.
It's just that it ramps up.
It ramps up. It's because of all of
those
the
particle effects,
computations that need to happen.
Yeah.
So I think maybe a little bit more better usage of memory, or just making it so there's maybe not much memory leak or optimization. I think that's cool.
I didn't even look at the settings like in general too much myself. Are they kind of limited?
It's very limited.
That's one thing I do notice on, again, kind of like in these indie developed games versus the more expensive games, is that they're able to kind of flesh those out a lot more. Like you see like a lot of in the AAA games, you see like colorblind modes and like all these settings that can like you can really tailor make your game. In these smaller dev studios, it's understandable. They're focusing on just getting the game out.
Yeah, getting a good game.
But yeah, you're not going to see too much. Too many things that you can mess around with in the settings.
Tinker with. Yeah. But honestly, aside from that, I love the game. I think that movement
Mm-hmm.
it feels phenomenal. I think the gunplay is phenomenal. Fuck the music. Like everything to me was, it was good enough to where I found myself legitimately having spent almost 20 hours in this game.
Yeah, which is it. It's crazy to think about how, all the other games that we've talked about on this show. This is probably the most simple out
It's
of all of them.
Absolutely 100%.
Yet I think it's aside from PoE and Final Fantasy, which have like a big head start because they've been
Yeah.
out for so long. This is the game I saw you spend the most amount of time on.
Yeah.
Yet it's the most simple.
I sank in so much time just because, like you were saying earlier, when you see progression in your character's strength and
Mhm.
power, you're like, I want to keep going. Like,
Mhm.
I want to push the limits of what I'm capable of. And so that's why games like Diablo, Path of Exile all resonate with me, is because there's a clear-cut progression that you could see.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I'm clawing my way to get better gear and like the better upgrades, and I'm seeing like, oh dang, like instead of like taking 3 shots to kill this guy, I'm doing it in 1 or 2.
Mm-hmm.
It gives me a dopamine hit,
Yeah.
and I'm like, next island.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the dopamine hit that this game is designed for that.
It's dopamine hit the game.
It's dopamine champions is what it is.
Inject it all in my veins.
Oh, in my brain.
But yeah, that's my thoughts on it. How about you? Same thing?
Yeah, same thing. Like I said, it's so simple of a game, but it almost like if you're not too huge of a gamer, right? If you like games, but you're not like, I don't have like a million hours to sink into
This
any
is a
one
good
thing.
one.
This is a great one where you can sit down to play it one night, go as far as you can or want to,
And then that's it.
Then that's it. There's no
Yeah.
there's no
It's not a serious
persistent
relationship.
thing. It's not a serious relationship like so many of these other games are. Not that those are bad, but it's like, you know what I mean? Like when Path of Exile, you love Path of Exile, but it's a job.
Good job.
It is a job.
Square Enix literally asks me for money every month.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
but this game, it's like
It's
you hit him up once, like
Yeah.
you take him out to dinner once.
this is a friends with benefits game.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
So you chat him up, take him out to dinner. Now
Yeah.
you can holler whenever.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't know. I think that it's
Yeah.
a really fun game, even for those who are not into gaming. If you're
Yeah.
not a big video game person,
Mhm.
if you have access to a computer, honestly, this might be a game that you're like, oh dang, that's fun.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
by the end of your session, you're like, okay, that felt great.
Don't have to take it
It's not
seriously.
serious.
Yeah.
That's the
Even
thing.
if you lose, you can lose on the first island. It's like whatever.
Yeah, just go again.
It's not like you're going against other players and they're teabagging you and making you feel bad and all this stuff. Like it's just
It's not like you're playing against Jane on League.
yeah. Or in any game. What is up with her? She has gotten so mean.
Producer Jane is violent. But yeah, like you're saying,
Yeah.
you're right. No commitments. I think that if you play it simple,
Yeah.
done.
And honestly, that's kind of all we have to talk about on this game because of that.
Simplicity is
The
fantastic.
simplicity is not always not always a bad thing. It can be just what you're looking for a lot of the time.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I think there's times where it's like it's nighttime, not quite ready for bed though.
Yeah. You have like
I don't have time to like sink into like a dungeon or anything.
you have like 20 minutes.
Got like 20 minutes. Yeah, I'll kill some
Kill
Kill some crabs.
And I think that's it for the episode, guys.
Yeah, thanks for joining us on this weird one.
Hey, episode 7, and do we still have a way to end, or
What about this? We can